The year is 2025. Hold on to your hats, folks, because things just got real interesting down on the US-Mexico border. Remember the CBP One app? No? Well, it was kind of a big deal. See, during the Biden administration, they came up with this whole system where migrants could actually use their phones to book appointments at official border crossings. Crazy, right? It was all above board, totally legal. The app launched in 2023, and by the time Trump took office again, almost 1 million people had used it to get into the US legally. The idea was to create a more humane and orderly process at the border. Instead of people risking their lives crossing the Rio Grande, they could just whip out their phones and schedule a time to walk right in. It seemed to be working too. Word got around, and before you knew it, the CBP One app was the hottest ticket in town. If your town was a migrant camp on the Mexican side of the border, that is. But like a dream you wake up from just before the good part happens, the CBP One app is no more. Gone. Trump signed an executive order on his first day back in office, and poof! The app vanished faster than you can say Executive Order number 1. Just like that, hundreds of thousands of people who were patiently waiting their turn, playing by the rules, saw their hopes of a new life in America disappear with a single swipe. So what happens now? Well, imagine you're one of the nearly 300,000 people who had an appointment scheduled through the app. You sold everything you owned, said goodbye to your family, and traveled hundreds, maybe even thousands of miles to get to the border. You've been living off scraps, sleeping under tarps, all for the chance to finally make it to your appointment and start a new life. Then, bam, the rug is pulled out from under you, the app is gone, your appointment is meaningless, and you're stuck. What do? Do you pack up and go home, defeated and empty-handed? Or do you get desperate? Do you try to cross the border illegally, risking everything on the slim chance that you might make it? That's the gamble that thousands of people are now facing. The end of CBP One doesn't mean the end of migration. It just means that things are about to get a whole lot more dangerous. Experts are already warning that the decision to scrap the app could lead to a surge in illegal crossings. With no legal pathway forward, many migrants will feel like they have no other choice but to take their chances. And you know who benefits from that? The smugglers, the coyotes, the very people who exploit desperate migrants for profit. By shutting down CBP One, Trump has inadvertently handed them a gift, a whole new wave of desperate customers. But hey, it's not like Trump just shut down the app and called it a day. He's got a whole plan, folks. He's calling it Operation Eagle Freedom, because of course he is. And it's basically every hardline immigration policy he's ever dreamed of, all rolled into one big, beautiful executive order. We're talking about declaring a national emergency at the border, sending troops to patrol the Rio Grande, and yes, finishing that beautiful, beautiful wall. He's also going after birthright citizenship. You know that pesky little thing in the 14th Amendment that says anyone born on US soil is automatically a citizen? Yeah, Trump's not a fan. He's also trying to make it harder for people to claim asylum, putting a stop to the refugee program, and labeling Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations. It's like he took everything people were worried about during his first term and decided to crank it up to 11. The problem is, a lot of these policies are probably unconstitutional. Ending birthright citizenship? Good luck getting that past the Supreme Court. Deploying troops on US soil to round up migrants? That's a whole other can of worms. Even some Republicans are raising their eyebrows at this one. But hey, who needs pesky things like laws and the Constitution when you've got a crisis to manufacture? So, buckle up, America, because we're in for a bumpy ride. The legal challenges to Trump's executive orders are already piling up. Civil rights groups are lawyering up faster than you can say habeas corpus. The ACLU is probably going to need a bigger office. We're talking about a constitutional showdown of epic proportions. It's the kind of thing that would make even the founding fathers say, whoa, maybe we should have been a little more specific about this whole immigration thing. Meanwhile, down on the border, the situation is growing more chaotic by the day. Migrants are stranded, unsure of what to do or where to go. Aid organizations are overwhelmed, struggling to provide basic necessities to a growing number of people. And the smugglers are rubbing their hands together, counting their profits. The end of CBP One is just the beginning of what promises to be a long and ugly chapter in America's ongoing immigration saga. It's a story of broken promises, misguided policies, and the human cost of political posturing. It's a story that highlights the deep divisions within American society and the challenges of finding common ground on one of the most pressing issues of our time. Stay tuned, folks. It's about to get a whole lot worse before it gets any better.